Shalom, friends. 5 meaningful minutes as we think about the counting of the Omer. Today's learning is in the zechut, in the merit of a full refuah shlema for Avraham ben Zelda and also for Nachum ben Rivka. Thinking about the counting of the Omer, today is the 40th day of the Omer, 5 weeks and 5 days since we began counting on the second day of Pesach as we move from Pesach to Shavuot. 49 days until the 50th day of Shavuot. And the rabbis say that these 49 days, 7 weeks, can be a spiritual time for transformation, a process in which we work on ourselves and our character traits. And the mystics in the 16th century started to line up these 7 weeks with 7 attributes in particular. 7 attributes that they aligned with the sfirot, the ways in which we see the divine presence in the world. And they labeled these 7 sfirot as chesed, kindness, gevura, discipline, tiferet, compassion, netzach, endurance, hod, humility, yesod, bonding, and malchut, nobility. You can actually translate these words in many different ways. That's one translation. But today is the 40th day, and so each week aligns with one of these character traits, meaning one of these things that I'm going to work on myself. And then each of the 7 days of each week align with a second aspect, a second one of the character traits. So today, the 40th day, aligns with the 5th attribute of hod, humility, and the aspect of yisod, of bonding. And so the rabbis suggest that perhaps today is uniquely a day to think about what it means to bring humility into my relationships, into the way that I connect with other people. A friend of mine, Rabbi Gavriel Goldfeder, writes in his booklet, The 50th Gate, which is about counting the Omer, he says that Yosef HaTzadik, Yosef in the Torah, is specifically aligned with the characteristic of Yisod, of working on what it means to be a grounded, noble person. And specifically in his challenge of being Yisod is that he has a hard time bonding with people. His relationships are not always good, specifically with his brothers. And so Yosef, after 20 years of not seeing his brothers, realizes when he finally re-encounters them that he needs to work on this relationship. And the way in which he's going to do it is to work on his own humility, placing himself, thinking about what it means to pull back a little bit, make more room for his brothers instead of constantly pushing on them his dreams and aspirations for himself as a leader. And so Yosef is a great example of someone who works on hod in his yisod, humility in his bonding, in his relationships with other people. And I think today is a powerful invitation to think about in all of our relationships, with our spouse, with our children, with our parents, with our friends, with our family. How can we deepen our bonds, our yesod with them? And how specifically can we do so when we work on the attribute of hod, of humility, of recognizing my own place in that relationship? The rabbis say that the first thing created, when God created the world, was space. Hashem had to literally be mitzamtzem, pull back, and create a space for the world to be. That's the hod we're talking about. It's when we pull back and create space for another human being in which we can allow those relationships to thrive. How do we make space for each other? That is the process of love and the process that helps to build holy relationships. And I want to just end by saying that I'm very proud. Next week, we have worked very hard together. The Jewish Federation, JCRC, Hadar, our Board of Rabbis, and the Beltway Vad, pulling together an incredible program, pre-Shavuot program, a pre-Shavuot Tikkun Leil, an opportunity to bring rabbis from across the denominations together in a 3-hour webinar this coming Monday to learn together, to explore themes of Shavuot together, to study together. And it's not always simple to bring together different rabbis of different denominations and create a platform where we're all teaching and learning Torah together with our communities. That requires hod in our yesod, It requires humility in our bonding, in our relationships, and recognizing that we all can learn from each other and grow together and build a stronger community together. So I'm very proud. Check it out on shalomdc.org on the website. Look for the information for our 3-hour webinar on Monday night as we prepare for Shavuot.